New York State corrections officers and sergeants continue to illegally strike for a second week as mediation stretches into a fourth day. Alice Gaynor has an update from the Sing Sing Correctional Facility in Westchester County.
Striking workers continue to cover their faces out of fear of retribution outside of Sing Sing Correctional Facility in Ossining. Some, we're told, went back to work Thursday after the state of New York listed names in court filings this week trying to force an end to the strike.
With all the threats the governor's office has made, with staff being served with their court orders, I understand why someone would not want to be out here.
So some people have gone back to work because of that?
Yes.
Striking correction officers and sergeants say they want HALT reforms rolled back, which reduced solitary confinement. Since HALT took effect in 2022, assaults on staff have spiked, recruiting has taken a hit, and officers have been forced to work mandatory overtime.
And it's putting so many people at risk within our correctional facilities and correctional system.
Meantime, the state confirms 2 inmates died at Sing Sing Wednesday. 67-year-old Anthony Douglas serving a 122-year sentence for murder and rape. He died by hanging. That's according to the Westchester County Medical Examiner. And 35-year-old Franklin Dominguez serving a sentence of up to 6 years for assault. His cause of death needs further study. It's not clear if staffing was a factor in the deaths. The latest statistics available for death in custody show that at Sing Sing for the year 2023, 3 people total died. As for getting officers back inside, the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision released a statement that reads in part, quote, "The confidential talks have been constructive, and we remain hopeful that continued dialogue will bring this situation to a close in a way that ensures the stability of the state's prisons and safety of everyone involved."
We'd kind of like to have a resolution, at least for the security issues now, and the staffing issues we can work out later. We can negotiate it.
We're told negotiations went late last night, but still no update today. Outside of Sing Sing Correctional Facility, Alice Gaynor, CBS News, New York.
Officers and sergeants at 36 of the state's 42 prisons refused to report for duty. The governor deployed the National Guard to assist. All visitations have been canceled.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
The state of New York is experiencing a correctional officer strike because of their prison system. Now, you've seen the first video that explains a lot of what's going on. I've got 2 more videos that are going to explain some of the actions that are being taken, the more recent stuff that's going on. But what's going on is to replace correctional officers until they can get the current workers to actually get back to work and hopefully hire some new people. They're bringing in the National Guard. This feels like a whole bunch of why should anybody care situation, except for the fact of that, well, prison system's the only way that people can really deal with it. The only way to deal with the more nasty prisoners there are to be able to put them into solitary confinement, which causes safety to be better, but instead they've eliminated the best way to keep prisoners and guards safer. It just sounds like a whole bunch of silliness going on because you've got a bunch of liberals that think that they know what the heck they're talking about when it comes to anything dealing with the justice system, when it's been proven that, well, most of the liberals threw up the justice system. So let's watch the last 2 videos and we'll get back to it.
Tonight, we are well into the 3rd week of the prison guard strike across New York State. And while many corrections officers continue to hold the line out of their facilities, our coverage today focusing on Albany, where there's movement on a key demand from COs. 7 News reporter Derek Hyde explains tonight the rallying cry to repeal HALT could become reality.
Repeal halt has become a rallying cry over the past 2.5 weeks on the strike lines outside of New York State prisons. And now a bill circulating the New York State legislature could make that rallying cry a reality.
And it's about damn time that we repeal halt.
A 7-page bill introduced in both the New York State Senate and Assembly. And to sponsor State Senator George Borrello, its purpose is very simple.
Well, this bill would simply repeal halt. I'm not going to try to fix their bad legislation, to be quite honest with you.
The HALT Act limits solitary confinement usage in prisons, and this repeal bill is written and supported by a number of Republican lawmakers. But 2 Democratic assemblymen are co-sponsors.
Hold the line! Hold the line! Hold the line!
Meantime, the workers on strike took to Albany themselves Tuesday. Local Assemblyman David DiPietro and Senator Borrello were both among them.
Hold the line! Hold the line! Hold the line!
I've been to a lot of rallies. That was one of the best ones I've ever been to.
Now this is my 6th year, and I've never seen the turnout that we saw.
All the screaming and yelling here will have no effect on me. I know what I have to do, and I know they should be getting back to work.
What did you make of the governor's comments about that protest yesterday?
I think she's brain dead.
What I don't hear is leadership.
If she could show some leadership, we could get this done.
As for that bill, Borrello tells me he doesn't believe he can convince his colleagues across the aisle.
I would say that there is little chance that our bill will be brought up for discussion and debate because the way the unfair and quite frankly corrupt way things are run here in Albany.
But he does hope to convince the governor.
She can take our bill and turn that into an executive action, which I strongly urge her to do.
And all of that makes the very lady whose face is all over the strike line at Collins the one person they're still trying to convince to make some change before they go back to work. We'll keep you posted with any updates. Derek Hyde, 7 News, Collins.
New at 6, we're getting our first real look at what members of the National Guard are experiencing inside the state prisons where they have been deployed.
That's right. News 10 NBC investigative reporter Jen Faluki was on a call today with the commissioners of the Department of Corrections and Homeland Security and Emergency Services. And Jen, the News 10 NBC investigative team got its hands on some pictures of what they are working to avoid long term, right?
Yeah, that's right, Deanna. I want you to take a look at these pictures from inside a state prison in the North Country. Those are cots set up in a gymnasium. Those are National Guard members. They were provided to us by a source connected to the National Guard, and they give you an idea of how most of the Guards men and women who are deployed inside these state prisons right now are living as they fill in for striking corrections officers. The hope is that as more corrections officers return, fewer members of the National Guard will be needed to keep the peace inside our state prisons. But for now, their duties continue to expand inside.
As they began to deploy into our facilities, the correction officers that remained on duty, they worked very closely and partnered with them. And as they gained more and more comfort level, received training inside of the institution by our seasoned officers, they were then able to expand the duties that they were assigned. And they're doing a great job collaborating with the staff that are inside remaining.
5,300 National Guards men and women are inside prisons, many sleeping on mats or cots in gymnasiums or locker rooms. These pictures are from inside Upstate Correctional Facility in Franklin County.
The Guard is doing everything they can to continue to run those facilities professionally and safely. It is our sincere hope that this strike ends, this illegal strike ends and ends quickly, ends today, ends tomorrow. Let's get back to work. But the National Guard will stay for as long as we need the National Guard to stay.
But staffing is one of the main reasons corrections officers walked out in the first place. So even if they were all to come back, there would still be a problem.
No matter when this ends or how this ends, our long-term plan must be and is to recruit more corrections officers because our facilities run safer when we're fully staffed.
Now, recruitment is going to be no small task for the state moving forward. The DOCS commissioner recently said they were already down 2,200 corrections officers before the strike even happened. And while the state is offering bigger signing bonuses, recruitment bonuses, pushing to be able to hire out-of-state workers, and looking to bump up the pay scales, it will be difficult to meet the staffing demands for the foreseeable future. Deanna.
Thanks so much, Jen. And the Department of Corrections says it will fire corrections officers who don't return after they don't show up for 10 full shifts in a row. Isn't that right, Jen?
That's right, Deanna. And those firings started today. This morning, there were less than 10, but we are still waiting for updated numbers from the Department of Corrections to see how many more people lost their jobs today.
Wow. I know you'll stay on top of it. Thank you.
So, at the end of the day, here's what the problem is. You've got National Guards folk that don't know what they're doing, that are being put into the middle of this situation. You've got prison guards who are striking, and while it's illegal, they do sound like they've got valid reasoning for what they're doing. You've got prisons that were made unsafe because of a Democrat bill. Basically, this is going to turn into the feds are going to have to step in. You know they will. And you've already got some military folks getting involved. This is just turning into a mess. And people wonder why we don't trust Democrat politicians being in charge of anything anymore. So, what do you think? Honestly, and I really want to hear from you if you're from the New York area, because this is just some insanity. It really is. But hey, I thought I'd bring this to your attention. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.